Mic stuck here. Correct.
So everyone, can you see me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So in today's session, we'll be starting with your core Java. We'll be starting actually. So I hope everyone knows about Java. Everyone, have you studied Java? Only one. Everyone aware about Java language?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anyway, we are going to start from the scratch of your Java only. Okay, no problem. So we'll be starting from the scratch of your Java only. We'll be starting. So and we'll start with the introduction part of your Java. I'll be handling till 10:30. I'll be handling actually, and again we'll start from 3 to 5. We'll be starting because 11 to 1 I have another session actually. So 3 to 5 again we'll come back actually. Okay. Okay. So initially, who have invented this Java language?
Sir, James Gosling.
No, okay, James Gosling, correct actually. I'm asking the company actually.
Microsoft.
Microsoft. No.
Oracle.
Now it is Oracle actually, but previously it is.
Oak.
Oak is the name of Java actually. Okay, Oak is the name of a Java. I'm asking the
Sun Microsystems.
Sun Microsystems.
Yes, Sun
Microsystems. Yeah. So initially, the Sun Microsystem categorized this Java itself into divided Java itself into 3 categories. It was divided. One is we called to be a J2SE, another one is we called to be a J2E, and another one is we called to be a J2ME topic actually. So initially, Java is developed by your Sun Microsystem actually, and the Sun Microsystem have divided the technology itself into 3 categories. It was divided J2SE, J2E, as well as your J2ME concept actually. So the J2SE is we called to be a Java 2 Standard Edition. Okay, it is we called to be a Java 2 Standard Edition. Or even we call to be a we call to be a core Java or for Java for beginners, anything you can able to go. So that is we call to be a Java to Standard Edition. And why we are going for this Java to Standard Edition means it's mainly used to develop your system or networking oriented project. Okay, if I want to develop any system or networking oriented project, in that case I can go for a concept called as your J2SE concept, which is called as your Java to Standard Edition, or even we call to be a core Java, or we call to be a Java for beginners, anything you can able to say actually. And the next one is we call to be J2E, which is called as your Java to Enterprise Edition. Okay, we call to be a Java to Enterprise Edition. And what is the purpose of this Java to Enterprise Edition means it is used to develop your web oriented application. Okay, web oriented application. So if I want to develop any web oriented application, that is if I want to develop any application that is going to run on the internet thing. So in that case, I'll be going for a concept called as your Java to Enterprise Edition, like online shopping, online reservation, online registration, any online application that is going to run on a internet. So that is we call to be an enterprise edition actually. So in order to develop your enterprise edition, we'll go for J2EE concept actually. And next we have your J2ME. This is we call to be a Java 2 mobile edition or micro edition. Anything you can able to say actually. Mobile edition or we call to be a micro edition actually. So if I want to develop any mobile based application, okay, mobile based application, in that case we can able to go for a concept called as your J2ME concept actually. So might be if you everyone has smartphones actually. So if you have open any app or if you open any and the games and all, this Java symbol will be coming now. So if I want to develop any mobile based application means in that case we'll be going for your Java 2 micro edition or even we call it be a mobile edition. That is your J2ME concept actually. So first we are going to start with your J2SE. That is we call it be a Java 2 Enterprise Edition. Okay, Java 2 Enterprise Edition actually. So why we are going for this Java 2 Enterprise Edition, J2SE concepts, as I already told before, it is mainly used to develop your system or networking oriented project. So if I want to develop any system or networking oriented project, in that case we'll be going for a concept called as your J2SE concept. Okay, we'll go for your J2SE concept actually. So this J2SE concept, as I already told before, initially it is developed by your Sun Microsystem. Okay, initially it is developed by your Sun Microsystem, but now it is taken over by which company? Now, Oracle. Yes, it is Oracle company actually. Initially, it is developed by Sun Microsystem actually. Okay, Sun Microsystem by 3%. James Gosling, Patrick Norton, and Chris Worth. Okay, these are the 3% who have developed under the Java by the company called as your Sun Microsystem actually. Might be you can able to say in late 1980s actually. Okay, in the late 1980s, the Java has been introduced actually, but it is introduced in a name called as what name actually? Oak actually. Initially, it is developed by a name called as your Oak in late 1980s actually. But in early 1990s, only the complete version of a Java has been introduced actually. Okay, the complete version of your Java has been introduced in your late 1980s, and now it is taken over by Oracle. It was taken over actually. And what is the latest version of your Java? It has been introduced. What is the latest version you have been downloaded? Last class you have downloaded
17.
17. Okay, that was the latest version of your Java. It has been occur actually. So but in early 1990s itself, the Java version has been introduced actually. But in late 1980, it is introduced in a name called as your Oak name actually. So before getting into this Java languages, so first we have to know the difference between your C++ and that is your other languages as well as your Java languages. So first we are going to see the difference between your C as well as your Java language. Okay, first we are going to discuss the difference between the C as well as your Java languages. So in the case of your C languages, if I want to write any C programming, how will you be starting a C programming? How you'll write any C program. If you want to start any C program, how you'll be starting it?
Header files and main function.
Header files actually. So we'll be starting with your header files actually. So we'll be using hash include stdio.h like that. We'll be defining the header files. We'll be defining actually. But in the case of your Java, there is no header file. Okay, there is no header file actually. And instead we'll be using we'll use which concept? Instead we have
Package.
yes, packages. Okay, we're going for a concept called your packages concept actually. And what is that packages means? What does that packages means? It is nothing but a folder which contains collection of class files. Okay, it is a folder contains collection of class files. It is a folder which contains a collection of class files actually. Okay, it will be containing a collection of class files. It will be containing. So that is called a packages. A packages is nothing but a folder which contains a collection of class files actually. So in the case of your C languages, why we are going for this stdio.h? Why we will be using stdio.h? Any idea?
Standard input output.
standard input output actually.
Yeah, for the standard input.
That's okay, but why we are going for what is the purpose of the standard input output and operation? Or why in which situation the compulsory will be using your stdio.h?
It has the functions which is required to initialize input and output.
Yeah, file
Libraries.
yes, file operation, printf, scanf, like that. If I'm going to use anything, in that case, we'll be importing a package called as your, sorry, importing a header file called, sorry, including a header file called as your stdio.h actually. But in the case of your Java, we don't have any header file. Instead, we have a concept called as your packages. So packages are nothing but what?
Collection of folders.
Collection of
Collection of classes.
class files actually. So it is a folder which contains a collection of class files. And guys, remember, in the session, please open up, please speak. Even though if you are answering wrong also, there is no problem actually. But always you should be having a practice of speaking in the session actually, because this thing only you will be following it, following whenever you go for any project also. Okay, go for any project also. So compulsory you have to speak. So even though if you are technically good also, if you are not speaking, then it doesn't have any use actually. Okay, it doesn't have any use actually. So always in the training session, we have to you people have to speak enough actually, because I will be tracking who and all is communicating in the session actually. Okay, so for that purpose, we have a separate template we are having actually, and in that template, I'll be tracking who and all is communicating in the session, who and all is effectively communicating in the session. Everything I'll be marking actually, and that template I'll be sharing with your managers also. So based upon those templates, only you will be getting your projects to soon or slowly. So you should be always effective in the session actually. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Don't put in the chat window. You have to speak up,
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
because I won't see in the chat window. I'll be hearing only your voice, so I can able to understand. And if you put in a chat window, I don't know anything actually. So you just speak up.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay,
Even though it is a wrong also, nothing problem actually. So you're just trying it. That's it. No one will say it's wrong or and no one will say do anything if you say wrong actually. It's just a practice actually.
Okay, sir.
okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so we are discussing about the difference between your C as well as your Java languages. The first step is that the header file. You'll be starting any C program with your header file, but in the case of Java, we don't have any header file. Instead, we have a concept called as your packages, which is nothing but a folder which contains a collection of class files actually. So as I already told before, if I'm going to perform any and a file operation, I'll be using a package called as your stdio.h package, and with the help of your include keyword actually. But in the case of Java, we don't have any header file. Instead, we have a packages concept actually. And how I'll be using my packages, with the help of what keyword we'll be using the packages?
Package names.
No. How I'll be using my packages
Import
inside my program. I'm
Import.
not asking how to declare your package.
Import.
Import. So, for example, if I'm going to and use any file operation in the case of your Java languages, then compulsory I'll be using
Java dot util package. Util package.
input output operation. So if I'm going to use any input output operation, then I'll be importing a package called import java.io.star package actually. So what is the Java? What is the Java indicates?
It's a package which implements the programming, sir.
Listen first. As I told before, now I'm importing a package. I'm importing. So what is the Java indicates?
Folder name.
Yes, perfect. It is a folder actually. And inside this Java folder, what is the IO indicate? It indicates management.
Input output.
No, what is
All the libraries are present inside this package.
I'm asking. Java is a folder. And inside Java folder, we have an IO. So this IO is also will be what?
Subfolder.
Subfolder. Subfolder will be folder. Dot star. What does that star indicate? It represents all the class files that are present inside which folder? Because we already told, packages is a folder which contains a collection of class files actually. Java is a folder. Inside Java, there is a folder called IO folder, and inside IO folder, I am going to take all the class files. Okay, the class files that are present inside your IO folder actually. Similarly, this is for input output operation actually. Okay, this is for input output operation. Similarly, if I want to perform any utility operation, collection framework, I use the package called as your java.util.star package. This Java is what? Folder. Java folder. What is that? Util folder. And inside the util folder, I am going to use all the
Class files.
So like that, we have different types of packages are available. Inbuilt packages are available. Java.lang.star. We have java.sql.star. Like that, we have different types of packages are available. So depending upon the requirements of the program, you can able to import any of the packages. Okay, you can able to import any of your packages, because in the case of Java, we don't have a header file. Instead, header file will go for your packages console, which is a folder which contains a collection of class files actually. So we have different types of packages are available in Java. So depending upon the requirements, you can able to use any type of your packages. You can able to import it. The second difference. Okay, the second difference is that okay. So how I can able to define any global variables in the case of C language? How do you define any global variables in the case of your C language?
We will use a keyword global.
What is it, man?
We will use a keyword global.
No. So normally before your main method will be defining. No, it starts with yum. Not main method. I told already it will be defined before your main method. But the concept starts with yum. Yum A, MAC. Macros. Have you studied macros? Hash define A40. So throughout the program, the value of A will be what? 40 actually. So this is called your global declaration. So macro is used for your global declaration. So you use your macros in order to define your global declaration. But in the case of Java, no global declaration. Okay, no global declaration. So you may ask, is it not possible to declare any variables globally in the case of Java? Actually, yes, it is possible, but we have to use a specific keyword. We have to use it actually. So without the keyword, we can't be able to declare any variable globally actually. So that's the reason I told there is no global declaration. Generally, we are saying there is no global declaration. So how many keywords you have studied in the case of C language? 32. 32. Yes, 32 keywords are there in the case of C language. But in the case of Java, how many keywords are there in the case of your Java language?
8 or 9. 8.
30.
52. 50, sir. 30, actually, 52 keywords are there in the case of your Java. 52 keywords actually. But certain keywords that are present in the case of your C language, it is not present in the case of your Java. Like we don't have size of, extern, register, signed, unsigned. So these keywords are not present in the case of
Java.
Java language. Totally different. So what are the data types you have studied in the case of your C language?
Int, char, char,
Int,
double,
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 double.
What data types are called as?
Primitive data type.
Apart from this, you have also studied one more data type. What is that one more data type? Structure, union, enum, pointers, this and all are called as what data type?
Union data type.
A defined data type.
User
That is easily defined data type actually. So in the case of your C, we have your primitive data type as well as we have your user defined data type. But in the case of Java, only primitive data type. So we have only primitive data type will be present in the case of your Java language. So we have only primitive data type of the Java page. The next difference is that so how I can able to find the address of the variables and all.
Using pointers.
Pointers.
Using pointers.
You find the address of a variable functions and all actually. But in the case of Java, there is no
It has no pointer.
No pointers.
You don't have any pointers in the case of your Java language. So this is a major differences between your C languages as well as your Java languages. So next we'll be going for your C++ and as well as your Java language. Okay, next we'll go for your C++ as well as your Java languages actually. And as you already know, C++ is nothing but an advanced of
C language. C language.
what difference actually. The C is otherwise called as what? C is called as what language?
Procedural.
Procedural oriented language. Procedural oriented language. Whereas Java is called as
Object oriented.
Object oriented.
it's called your object oriented. You have already studied and the C++ is nothing but an advanced of your C languages actually. So the same 6 difference is going to be applicable to your C++ as well as your Java also. But the main difference is going to come. The C++ is what language it is?
Procedural.
Object oriented.
Object oriented.
Object oriented. Okay. The C++ is
Object oriented.
C++ is an object oriented concept. Is it fully or partially?
Partially.
Partially.
Partial.
Partial. And Java is also what?
Partially.
Partially object oriented.
Yes, sir. Java is not 100% object oriented. We are using primitive data type here.
Yes. So that's the reason it is partially object oriented. Partially object oriented. So whenever we come to your C++ as well as your Java languages, normally we'll be discussing the different object oriented concept we'll be discussing actually. So now what is the first object oriented concept we have?
Class.
Before class?
Object.
Object. So what is object actually? Object is equal to real world
Real world entity.
and what my object will be containing? What my object will hold? The object
Oh, that's
will memory reference. So we have already studied in the case of your C languages, if I want to find the name of a variable or an address of a variable, we go for what concept?
Pointers.
Pointers. Actually. But in the case of Java, there is no pointers actually. But how I can able to access the address of the thing and not execute that?
Object.
Object.
Using object.
Object will be called. The object will always containing what?
Memory reference.
Memory reference.
Memory reference.
Class. What is class actually? You can able to say it's a blueprint or
You go for the blueprint, sir.
what will class will contain?
It consists of behavior and fields.
That is behaviors.
Methods, variables and
Behaviors.
constructor. Your methods, variables and constructor, and it acts as by creating an
Object.
object.
Creating
Accessed by object. Okay. So the class will be containing the methods, variables and constructor, and it will be accessed by object. The next thing is we call it encapsulation. This is we call it encapsulation. What is encapsulation? And what is the advantage of using the encapsulation? It is we call it data hiding. Data. For example, consider, so in the case of Java, always we'll be creating, what we'll be creating actually, we'll be creating only the class we'll be creating actually. And what my class will be containing?
Methods, variables, and constructors. All the methods, variables.
Consider this is
Tables, methods and constructors.
completely, this is a
मतलब
class.
शाम को एक ही आएगा वो ये कंटिन्यू जा रहा नहीं
Just mute your call.
एक ही आएगा दोनों टाइम
Anil Kumar, mute your call. Okay, so consider this is a class actually. So normally what my class will be containing? The class will be containing your methods as well as your
Variables.
methods as well as your variables and constructors. No problem. Okay, methods as well as your variables actually. So what is encapsulation now? Wrapping of data into a single unit actually. So in the class, I'm going to wrap everything, the methods as well as your variables, I'm going to wrap it actually. Okay, and how we are going to perform your encapsulation? How you will perform your encapsulation?
Using data.
By using data setters, publicly defined data setters.
Variables actually. So in the class, variables. The class will satisfy what concept actually? I'm going to define any public methods and private variables now, then that particular class will satisfy what feature.
abstraction
So if a class contains any public methods and private variable means it is going to satisfy which feature?
Encapsulation.
Encapsulation. So if I want to perform any encapsulation, then compulsory you have to define the methods to be public and variables to be private.
Yes,
The next object-oriented concept is called the abstraction. What is abstraction?
Hiding the internal data.
Getting the necessary details from the user.
Users, yes, sir.
So that is we call it the abstraction actually. Next one is we call it inheritance. Next one is we call it inheritance, and as I already told you, what is inheritance? Accessing properties of one class into properties of one class into another class. Accessing the properties of one class into another class. So that concept is we call it the inheritance concept actually. And what are the different types of inheritance are available in the generally what are the different types of inheritance are available?
Single, multiple,
Multiple.
Hierarchical.
Hybrid,
Level hybrid as well as your hierarchical. So these are the different types of inheritance that are available. But here there is one difference will be there actually. So in the case of Java, C++, we have single, multiple, multi-level, hybrid, and hierarchical. These are there actually. But in the case of Java, what is not there?
Multiple and
written. Instead, we are going to use interfaces. Instead, we are going to use what? Interfaces. Instead, we are going to use what? Interface. Then we have interface actually. The next difference is between next two concept we are going to discuss is called polymorphism. What is polymorphism? One class which takes
Many forms.
Class many forms, sir.
that is, for example, if I take a class called a shape, the shape can be rectangle or it can be diagonal or it can be a rhombus, it can be square, it can be circle, it can be anything actually. One class which takes many forms actually. And there are two types of polymorphism are available actually. One is we call it here, one is we call it a static or compile time polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism, and the second one is we call it
dynamic or dynamic.
Dynamic and runtime polymorphism.
So how you perform your static or compile time polymorphism using your overloading concept. What is overloading as well as your
Constructors.
and how you perform your dynamic polymorphism
Overriding.
By overriding.
and what are the things you can able to override only. So here also there is one difference between the and the C++ as well as your Java. Normally in C++ we have method, constructor, and what is one more overloading?
Operator oriented.
Overloading. But in the case of Java, no operator overloading. So you can't able to overload an operator in the case of your Java language. The next differences we are going to discuss is called here constructor. The next difference we are going to discuss is called here constructor actually. So what is constructor?
The constructor should have same name as that of class.
Same name as class name.
That is okay, but my question is what is constructor? I didn't ask how you creating a constructor. I'm asking what is constructor.
Constructs object.
It happens to initialize the object.
It creates automatically when object is cleared.
That is when the constructor will be working at the time of creating an object actually. But I'm asking what is constructor.
It is a method which has the name of the class itself.
It is a method which is first called by at the time of class coding.
Exactly. So what is a constructor means? Whenever we create an object for a class, whenever we create an object for a class, what it will allocate?
It initializes memory.
Memory will be allocated. The memory will be allocated. So allocation of memory is called what?
Constructor.
Allocation of memory is called constructor. Allocation of memory is called as your constructor. And when the constructor will be invoking, constructor will invoke. When the constructor will be invoked, time of creating an object. So what is constructor? So whenever you create an object, a memory will be allocated. So the allocation memory is called as your constructor. And when the constructor will be invoked, the constructor will be invoked in the form of object creation. The next point is by default. By default, all class will have what constructor? Will have one default constructor.
Default constructor.
What is default constructor now? Constructor
Having no parameter.
No parameters.
any parameters. Without any parameters. So by default, all class will have one default constructor, and we can create our own constructor. We can create our own constructor. Anything. It might be a default or it might be a parameterized. Okay, our own constructor. And in that case, sorry, our own constructor. Where so whenever you create your own constructor, how it should be? Where a constructor name and the class name should be
Same, sir.
and the class name should be same.
Same
In
name.
that case, it will destroy the already present constructor. Default constructor. So by default, all class will have one default constructor, and we can able to create our own constructor. We can able to create where my constructor name and the class name should be same actually. In that case, what it will do? It will destroy the already present
Default constructor.
default constructor. It will destroy the already default constructor. Next point is that constructor can have parameters.
Parameters.
Can able to define constructor with parameters. Next point is constructor can have access specifiers. Access specifier. Mostly we'll be defining which access specifier.
Public, private,
If it is public, if it is private, means what we can't able to do. We can't
stopping
create an
constructor. We can't create any constructor.
We can't able to create an object for the class. Yeah. So in case if you define the constructor to be private, now we can't create an object.
Okay.
Next point, the constructor doesn't have return type. Doesn't have not have return type. So if you define any constructor for that particular constructor, you should not have any return type actually. So for example, consider I create a box class. And inside this box class, I'm going to define box. Okay, so I define a class called box. Is it accepted, guys? Is it correct?
All box is not.
Is it correct? Is it correct?
No, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So what is this one represents?
Constructor.
Constructor. And what is this one represent?
Method.
So it is non-static.
Non-static method.
What is it now? You can say what is it? I couldn't hear it properly.
So this is a non-static.
Okay. So is it accepted? So I guess I can able to create a method like this. I can create a method like this. But how my compiler will differentiate whether it's a constructor or method now? If the method doesn't have return type, now compulsory we have to provide what?
Return.
Void. Actually.
Void.
But the constructor should not have a return type actually. So this will be considered as a constructor, whereas this will be considered as a method. So there won't be any problem actually. Okay, there won't be any problem. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the different points you have to remember in the case of your constructor. And between Java, C++, there is no change in our concept actually. Whatever we have discussed in this, the same thing is going to be applicable in which language also?
Which language?
Java language also.
Java.
In the Java language. Okay. Next difference we are going to discuss is called your destructor. What is destructor means?
Constructor. He allocates the memory.
So whatever we have been allocated, so we have to deallocate it actually. So that is we call it a destructor. And how you do the destructor in the case of your C languages? We use the tilde operator. We use the tilde operator, and with the help of the tilde operator, we'll be deallocating the memory. But in the case of Java, there is no destructor. No destructor. Instead, what also we have
Garbage collection.
Garbage collector.
garbage collection. Okay, we have two concepts there. One is we call it automatic garbage
Garbage
collection.
collection.
Yeah. This is an automatic garbage collection.
Garbage collection.
Once the program terminates, it will be automatically deallocating the memory. Okay, it will be automatically deallocating the memory whenever your program is going to be terminated. Okay, whenever your program is going to be terminated, the memory will be automatically deallocated because we have a concept called your automatic garbage collection. But I want to do at the end of the program. I want to do under myself. I want to do the garbage collection. So for that purpose, we'll be going for a system.gc method or
Runtime dot.
GC method. So if I want to do the garbage collection, then we have to call a method called system.gc method or runtime.gc method. And this method will automatically call your method void of finalize method. Method call. See, if you're not speaking up, please mute your call. Protected void of finalize
Like method.
method. It will be calling a method called protected void of finalize method. And what this method will be containing now, this method will contain the resources to be cleaned up, and invoke only once in the life cycle of the program. So we don't have destructor in the case of Java. Instead, we have a concept called as your automatic garbage collection. But what is that automatic garbage